steam ahead, underway to China. The 20-day voyage, if all goes well without issues. So we left Tauranga about 1:15 this morning. A little bit windy today, and 2.5 metre waves roughly. A little bit choppy out there. Just the remnants of an ex-tropical cyclone that hit us a few days ago, so the tail end of that's still whipping up some wind and waves just up the east coast of New Zealand. Check the windy forecast. It's supposed to be actually 2 to 3 metre waves all the way up to about New Caledonia before it calms back down to just the standard, 1 metre waves, nothing too crazy. But welcome on board another Lignum ship. This time it's Lignum Mesh. There's a couple of these Lignum ships around. They're all sister ships, almost basically identical to each other. So I feel quite at home here, not getting too lost touring around the ship, showing you around. So I can find my way quite easily. Most importantly though, welcome back to the channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, great to see you again. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to give you a tour of my cabin up next, then we'll go check out the bridge. We'll have a look around the inside, the accommodation areas, go down to the engine room, and go for a little walk around outside. I'll show you everything around there. And just random footage throughout the journey, so enjoy the ride to China. So this is home sweet home for the next 20 days, I guess. Pilot's cabin. Exactly the same as Lignum Nexus, no different at all. And we've got the bed over there, got some shelves up top above the desk there and the desk. Excuse the mess there. Bought some snacks with me this time actually. Yes, I'll share with the crew, of course. Bit of a couch sofa thing here, which I'm kind of using to store some work gear and stuff. We have the bathroom. It is quite small, but it's functional. Hello, there's me. We have the sink, the throne, the toilet, and shower. So that is my cabin. Let's go check out the bridge. This is the bridge of Lignum Mesh. Let's have a look around. We have the kitchen area here, refrigerator, hot water machine, tea and coffee. This is the nav locker. So in here you just have some spare life jackets, immersion suits, breathing apparatus for if there's smoke from a fire, line throwing apparatus, and flares. This is the GMDSS station. In the middle you got the MFHF radio. On the left and right you got the Inmarsat computers. Now, this was the predecessor to email. Back in the day they actually used to send messages via this. We still receive messages on here. They come from the coast stations, any like weather warnings, any distress calls and stuff. Because this can work even when the power is out. It's got a backup battery. A Navtex receiver up there. 3 computers here, office space basically. And we have the chart table here. This box here, I guess you could call it like the main server, I guess, for the entire ship. Number 1 and number 2 GPS up there. Echo sounder. Satellite compass display. Alarm buttons here, general alarm and emergency stop buttons. External light controls. Cargo hold fan control. Navigation light controls. And more light switches here. Engine controls, main engine telegraph. Engine status monitoring screen, what are we running at the moment? Requested 82.8 RPM, but it does fluctuate, obviously. That's our main engine start, air pressure, and prop shaft RPM. That's the extension alarm panel. This is how we steer the ship. This is the wheel. Currently on autopilot though. Holding the heading for us, what are we? 302. Above me is the magnetic compass. That's the gyroscopic compass. That triangle pizza shaped looking thing is the clinometer, shows how much the ship is rolling. And now we're actually rolling quite a bit. We are 5 degrees, almost 10, between 5 and 10. It was a little bit swelly out there today. Speed log 11.2 knots. Rudder indicator, RPM, and the clock. And we have the wind speed and wind direction. AIS box. You could compare that to an aircraft transponder, which is how other ships can see us and coast stations can identify us. It's got all the details of our ship. Let's go through that. So voyage information. We're underway using engine. We're going to Zhenjiang in China, and ETA 13th May at 0700. And that's our ship type. Scroll down, 21 people on board. VHF number 1 and VHF number 2. PA system for any important announcements. This here is the BNWAS, B&WAS. It's basically like a system to make sure the officer on watch is still awake. So you push this button here and it resets. I think it's like every 12 minutes you have to push the button, otherwise it starts beeping at you. There's the X-band radar number 2. I've currently got the radar switched off because they're working on Monkey Island. Don't want to expose them to radiation. Here's our primary ECDIS screen, ECDIS number 1. Yes, we are a little bit off course. The red line is actually what we were supposed to be, but we've been trying to dodge some of this rough weather, so we've sort of gone off course a little bit, keep the rolling to a minimum, but you know, you can only do so much out here. Here's the S-band radar and ECDIS number 2. So I had a few questions in the comments down below asking why do we have curtains on the bridge. Quite simple answer. Obviously this is the navigation area and you want it to be as dark as possible so you can see at night time, so you keep your night eyes. But if the officer on watch needs to get any office work done, you can just come back behind the curtains and let there be light. I hope that answers your question. So that is the bridge of Lignum Mesh. This is D-deck first up, just below the bridge, which is up there, and my cabin as well on the right. We have the officer's laundry room. One machine's out of order unfortunately, but we got 2 other washing machines here. Whose cabins have we got here? We got a shared lavatory there, second officer's cabin, second engineer's cabin, chief engineer's cabin, day room. Won't go inside there, respect his privacy of course, as with all other ships. Third engineer and first engineer's day room. Now all the officers on this deck I believe have their own amenities, have their own bathrooms. Someone just hang their laundry out to dry on the railing here. Meeting room for the captain and his cabin as well. Chief officer's day room and third officer's cabin. Head down to C deck. This is C deck. Feel free to pause and have a read of the list. So the cabins you find here are for all the ratings. We have the bond store, duty free store. Not really, there's not too much choice in there except for beer, wine, cigarettes and mineral water. More cabins down here. And more cabins down the end of the hallway too. And the cabins on this deck don't have their own amenities, so they have shared bathrooms. So this is B deck. I guess you could refer to this as like the common area of the ship for all the crew. So what do we find here? We have the ship's office, which is mainly used for like you know, load planning and stuff, and any meetings with like port officials and that sort of stuff. Officer's mess room, dining room. Seating for 10 people. Making our way through to the kitchen, the galley. Some leftovers from lunch still. Thank you. This is the crew's dining room, mess room. And it looks like they're doing some weekly health monitoring at the moment. Coming back out to the main corridor here, we have the hospital, which is locked, and hopefully it stays that way for the voyage. Hopefully nobody gets admitted to there. The storeroom here. cruise recreation room. Playing some mahjong. And the officers' recreation room. Well, they call it the saloon. The saloon on this particular ship. Alright, let's head down to A deck. So this is A deck. There's not too much down here, it's more just like storage rooms and stuff. We do have the cruise laundry room and drying room as well. And more storage rooms to the left and right of me. Dry provisions are stored in here, but that is currently locked. We have the gymnasium. Well, not really a gymnasium, more just a ping pong room, I guess. There's a treadmill and an exercise bike and some free weights. Before we head down to the upper deck, I'll just show you where the food is stored on board. Refrigerated and frozen food. So seafood is kept in here. Refocus my camera there. Frozen seafood. Frozen meats. And here we have fresh vegetables and fruit. So that is where food is stored on a ship. We will now head down to the upper deck. And last but not least, the upper deck, right down the bottom of the ship now. Have the deck, workshop and store, pretty self-explanatory. Storage and tools and stuff for any work that's to be done out on deck. Heaps of miscellaneous bits and pieces in here. We also have two changing rooms, locker rooms. One's for the deck crew and the other one's for the engine room crew. So this is the deck crew's changing room, locker room. We also have a shower room and toilet. I don't think anyone's going to be showering in here. I think it's more being used for the rinsing of stuff from like the engine room. I think they use it for washing the air conditioning filters. That's why it's a little bit dirty in there. Could do with a bit of a clean. But it can be used as a shower though, if need be. Air conditioning unit room. This is the escape trunk leading down to the engine room. Let's have a look down here. We won't go past the chain, but yeah, this goes all the way down to the bottom, a long way down. Random storeroom here. We got in there some old, some life rings. What else they got in there? Other random bits and pieces for, like on shore for the gangway. I think they store that in there as well. And the fire control room. One more changing room to here. This is for the engine room crew to get changed. And again, that meets up with the amenities bathroom we just saw with before. Anyway, that's the entrance to the engine room. Let's go have a look how Lignum Mesh gets her power. So we're in the engine room now. We'll first check out the nerve center, the ECR engine control room. So we've got tea and coffee making facilities here, small workstation there with some computers. This is the main console. These two screens here, you can monitor various temperatures, generator status, and some engine parameters too. Air pressure gauges, engine telegraph, main engine telegraph. So here showing how much RPM we're running at. Alarm system, alarm indicator, lube oil monitoring, engine performance display. This is what they refer to as the scrubber exhaust gas cleaning, basically trying to create as much clean emissions as possible. Nice cold air conditioning here, electrical switchboard, let's go check out the rest of the engine room. So here's the main engine then, a Mitsui MAN-Mitsui S550ME. As you can see from first glance, really large engine compartment, no awkward like crawl spaces or anything, and giving engineers easy access to all the components. So what you see here wrapped in silver insulation are the oil tanks. Here we have 3 air compressors, and behind that the air reservoir tank. This is the incinerator for burning cardboard and paper garbage. We're now entering the workshop. Again, really large open space, plenty of room. And we're now in the steering gear room. Pretty self-explanatory. Here we have the steering gear. This is what controls the rudder and steers the ship through the water. So I just found out from one of the engineers on board, behind this wall here with the gauge on it is actually where we store fresh water. And also in behind here is another freshwater tank. On the second floor of the engine room now, we have oil purifiers ×4. This is the lube oil cooling system. And this is where the sewage gets processed and neutralized with UV before being discharged overboard. We have 3 Yanmar diesel generators, which gives us our electricity. So next we're going to take a look at the ballast water management system. Ships take on seawater in order to weigh themselves down when they're empty. Being seawater, it's obviously going to have microorganisms in there. With UV, that seawater is neutralized so it can be discharged in other parts of the world before loading freight. So this here is our freshwater generator. Now on the bottom floor of the engine room, let's have a look around. We have the emergency escape trunk. Here we have our prop shaft spinning the propeller. We'll take a final look at the main engine from down below. Let's go take a look around the outside of the ship now. Up on the bridge wing on the starboard side, green thing there with the canvas over the top is the gyroscopic repeater. Above me we have Monkey Island. We're not going to go up there and have a look because we don't want to expose ourselves to any radiation from the SNX band radar booms that are currently running. And we'll have a look on the port side soon. There's a bit more to see. There's some various antenna arrays and stuff. This here is the MFHF radio antenna. Over on the port side, basically mirror image of the starboard side. Another gyroscopic repeater. That Inmarsat thing there is for the internet. Some Furuno antenna array, I believe that's also for the satellite. 7 antennas. If anyone in the comments does know, feel free to let me know. That green thing there with the propeller on the front is the wind vane, the anemometer. And we just have various other domes and antennas up there as well. Up there is D-deck. There's nothing much up there, just a small little balcony. And this is C-deck. Here we have the funnel. And we have access into the engine room. Starboard side of B-deck we have a davit lifeboat which can hold 25 persons. Coming through to the port side now. And on the port side we have another davit lifeboat which can also seat 25 persons. So this is what it looks like inside a lifeboat. Seating for 25 people, obviously not that comfortable, but hey, it is for sustaining life, not for comfort. Spare pair of oars here in case the engine does fail. Here's the driver's seat. Again, not very comfortable. Steering wheel, light switches, fuses, compass, RPM, tachometer, power control, throttle, and a searchlight. So that is what it's like inside a lifeboat. Take a look around the upper deck, the ground floor. The deck workshop and store inside there. They got the door open there at the moment because they've just done some painting, so they're allowing that to dry. Up to the aft of the ship. The thing there under the blue tarp is actually a cherry picker, which is used for maintenance in the cargo hold, like painting and any repairs or cleaning. Apparently it's never been used though. Got the mooring lines here, covered, protected from the UV rays. A little bit noisy here, sorry. Access into the engine room, the steering gear room through that door. More mooring lines here. And coming over to the port side of the ship. That's our barbecue, our charcoal barbecue. And basically the same as the other side. Here's our gangway. And entrance into the accommodation. And obviously through here an open space. So that's our cargo, radiata pine from New Zealand, destined for China. So that's what it's like on board Lignum Mesh, exactly the same as Lignum Nexus. That's not all for the video though. Up next, our passage through Papua New Guinea, and after that we'll be across the equator and straight to China. So got about a week and a half left at sea now, so enjoy the rest of the voyage. Welcome to China. Well, almost. Just out in Anchorage here at the moment at CJK. Waiting for our pilot to come on board this evening. And then we've got an 18-hour passage up the Yangtze River to Yangzhou. So our first pilot has just come on board. He'll be with us until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Then they'll change over to another pilot. He'll stay on board for like 8 hours, I think. And then the last pilot will take us to Yangzhou. Anyway, it's getting late now. So night all, and we'll see you in the morning when we're on the river. Good morning. On the Yangtze River now. On the way to Yangzhou. Going to do a bit of a time lapse. That passage up the river and our berthing at Yangzhou. Enjoy. That's a wrap. Welcome to Yangzhou. As you can see, unloading's already well underway. We got onto the berth just after 3 p.m. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tour of the ship, Lignum Mesh. Yeah, exactly the same as Lignum Nexus, not much different at all. Thanks for coming along for the ride from New Zealand to China. The journey took us 19 days. Anyway, that's all folks. See you next time. Bye for now.